Thank you everybody for hopping on today and joining us for this webinar. We know it's getting the start to the summer season and everything's in full swing. So thank you again for joining us for an hour, probably an hour as we go through this. There's a lot of detail to cover. We want to make sure everyone has everything they need as they're going through OTAs and bookings and everything Alexia and Chelsea are going to dive into today. So thank you all again for joining. As a reminder, if you signed up and you're not able to make it, you will get a recording. If you have to hop off early, it'll be recorded as long as the meeting is going on. So you'll get all the details. And we're excited to have you.
Hey everyone, I am the Director of Product Delivery here at Blue Tent, and I oversee the majority of our Boost team. And I'm really excited to be with you today and to share the possibilities of what Boost can do for you.
Hey, I'm Chelsea. I'm part of the implementation team. So it's a possibility that you would be working with me or one of my wonderful coworkers. If you choose to proceed with Boost, we'll take you through, hopefully make you a Boost expert by the end. But yeah, it's really fun being a part of this.
And all the Q4 customers may have seen me or interfaced with me before. I'm Ben, for those of you I don't know, I'm the Senior Digital Marketing Specialist with Q4. So leading our digital marketing, PPC, paid search, social media, email marketing teams. So all the channels that you're probably marketing on right now, been with Q4 going 7 years. So I know I've probably seen a lot of you on here. Excited to have the Blue Tent team join us today. As a reminder, as we go through this webinar, there will likely be some polls that come up. So we encourage you to interact with those so we can see how we can help at the very end.
All right, let's get started. So let's start at the very beginning. What are online travel agencies, or OTAs as we typically refer to them? It's your online marketplace where your company can list your individual properties, your vacation rental properties. There are so many to choose from, and Blue Tent is connected to a handful. We're very, very selective as to what OTAs we connect to. We're always looking to expand our offering, but we do our due diligence before we bring on board any new connections. We want to make sure that it's going to work for our clients and that they're going to get the benefit of using that OTA. Some of the things that you'll want to know regarding rules and policies: each OTA does function a little differently. In order to list your properties on any specific online marketplace, you want to make sure that you understand what their rules and standards are and that you're able to adhere to those. In other words, you're playing by their rules. So I'll let Chelsea dive into that a little bit more and give you some specifics. So Ben, if you can just stay on this slide just a little bit longer.
So the way we like to look at it on the implementation side of things is that this is kind of like what it was like living at your parents' house, possibly as an adult. You are under their roof, so you're playing by their rules. You do have some freedom, but there are some guardrails about, like, you might have had a curfew, or they just want to know when you're going out. So each OTA is kind of like that, where it's like, yes, we will configure it to the best of our ability, depending on how you do your business. But there are some definitely like strict guidelines that each different OTA plays by. So that's a good thing to know as you go into each one of these, that they might play a little bit differently, and we might have to configure just slightly differently for each one of them.
And as you can see from this slide, currently we do connect to Booking.com, Airbnb, Vrbo, Home2Go, and Google. And as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, we are always looking to expand that offering, but are very selective as to who we allow our clients to connect to. And hopefully we'll have some new ones coming up soon. We are doing some due diligence there. Awesome. Next slide, Ben. Thank you. Why would you want to list your properties on OTA? So we know how important direct bookings are, and we recognize the fact that the majority of our clients prefer to have their reservations coming in directly through their website. However, OTAs will help you increase the visibility of your properties and build your brand. They're extremely helpful in filling in those gaps that you have from your direct bookings. They allow you to reach a new market and tap into those largest, still growing that online audience. We also recognize the fact that a lot of homeowners really become adamant about wanting their properties on certain very specific OTAs. We hear that a lot from our clients. They may not be connected to a specific OTA, but they're getting some pressure from homeowners. So we understand that's a big part of your decision-making process as well. But the bottom line, OTAs can help you make more money. And that's what we're here to help you do. Build your brand, market your properties, fill in those gaps, keep your homeowners happy, and make more money. So some of the need to know the value of online marketplaces, there are statistics that we're constantly pulling, and currently statistics are showing that almost half of all travelers are booking via an OTA. And the trend shows that that is just going to continue to increase year after year. So we want to make sure that you are part of that trend. You are making your money for, those fill-in dates that you need, or picking up more homeowners because you are marketing on OTAs. In addition to the new generation of travelers using OTAs, we want to make sure properties listed on OTA experience a billboard effect and see an increase in direct bookings. And that's what we can help do, is optimize your properties, your listings on these OTAs. Chelsea, anything you'd like to add to this?
I mean, you're just going to get more eyeballs on your
Yeah.
properties. So that
Exactly.
people like to shop around. They like a good deal. And so they might see you on Airbnb, they might see you on Google, and then they might find your direct website. So the fact that they've seen you in a few different places allows them to compare your pricing. And as we know, they're probably going to get a better deal going direct, but at least they saw you in a few different places with audiences that you might not have seen before.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Why use a channel management tool like Boost to get your listings on OTAs? When you use the right tool for the job, obviously the job gets easier. Using a channel management tool saves you time and money. You don't have to manually manage those listings anymore. You're having that data porting through and not having to go in and block calendars or manually change pricing and those types of things. So the right tool always makes the job easier, and Boost is that type of tool. So what does Boost do? Basically, Boost is the tool you can use that's going to send us the information that you're already creating and managing within your property management software. We take that information, we consume it, and then we send it to the OTAs. Boost will take that information and consume it, and then turn around and send it in the format that each OTA requires, and they're all different. The way we send something to booking.com isn't necessarily the way that Airbnb wants to receive it, or that Vrbo wants to receive it. So Boost is that tool that will allow your information to be digested and then turned around and put in the proper format to share with the OTAs that you choose to connect with. And these are the building blocks, and I'll let Chelsea jump in here. The bottom line is no one knows your business better than you. You're the expert when it comes to your business and the business model that you're running with. So in order to succeed with Boost, you'll actively participate in the entire process. Without your engagement, the channel management tool isn't going to do its job. It's not going to provide you with the results that you're looking for. So your engagement is extremely, extremely important. And I'll let Chelsea talk to the left part of the slide where the pyramid is.
Yeah, so basically we won't go through every single piece of the pyramid, but starting with the most important part is the foundation. Like the slide before showed, we pull all of your information from your PMS, digest it, and then we push it all out to the OTAs. So you all have already done a huge amount of work in your PMS. You've added pictures in there. You have catchy headlines. You have great descriptions. We just want to take all of the hard work that you've already done and make it really easy with a few clicks of a button, some training from our team to be able to take all of that information and then put it out to become new listings without having to manually do any of it. So From that, from all of your great photos, headlines, descriptions, we build off of that. Then we set up your booking rules. This helps create all of your proper financials. We do some different price adjustments to accommodate for some of the commission of the OTAs, because we all know it costs a little bit to be on various platforms. And we'll always make sure that everything that is going out is going to be accurate. We do test bookings. We'll do more than one with you. We'll talk through all the numbers. And once you've done all that setup, by the end, you're going to be receiving reservations into your property management software. That is the way that you hopefully like to see it. And it will make it much more of a streamlined process versus having to go out to the OTA yourself and build every single listing from scratch, which we all know you're busy. So we don't want you doing that. We'd like to help.
What makes Boost the best-in-class channel management tool? We give you the ability to cover your expenses. So yes, there are commissions. There is a price for connecting to the OTAs, both through the OTA and Boost. However, we do give you the ability to offset that pricing by allowing you to mark up your rent and fees and making sure that you're, as Chelsea mentioned, collecting for all of that, all of those extras, and still being able to cover all of your expenses. We do have a target interested traveler. They're looking for more detailed, accurate information, and that's what Boost will do for you. It will allow you to share the most up-to-date information that you have in your property management software, and we'll pull that and share that information with the OTAs. Being able to have detailed, accurate, fully branded listings does help with your listings ranking higher, and that's what we ultimately try to do for our clients who are utilizing the Boost tool. And then you're going to work with a dedicated team. We partner you with a team member, specifically with Chelsea and her team, and I'll allow her to go into a little bit more detail about that. However, along the way, along with implementation, once your onboarding process is over, it doesn't end there. We still have additional resources there to help. And Chelsea, you can take it from here.
Yeah, so it's to focus on the team part, it's an end-to-end implementation. So right from the handoff for sales, you're working with a dedicated implementation specialist. We hold your hand through the whole process, wanting to train you to become the Boost expert. You, a few team members, so that you really know how to manage the software going forward. Then from becoming a Boost expert, we make sure that we're giving you all of those training materials so you can go forward and feel confident. After that, you get to work with our wonderful success and support teams. So it's not like you're left hanging like, oh, I have to go to a random FAQ page to figure out what I need to do. There are actual humans that will answer your questions and help you optimize your listings. Or if you're just trying to troubleshoot a new property that you brought on, we're here to help.
Yeah, and let me just add that Chelsea and her team do an amazing job with documentation, which allows clients who want to get a quick answer to jump into articles, to watch videos. We have a tremendous amount of how-to videos, and they're 2 to 3 minute segments that are very specific to what you're trying to do, whether it's activating a listing or looking at your booking report. There are very specific videos that will walk you through that. However, there's always the human element that is extremely helpful, and we provide that through our client success team with a client success manager. Every client is assigned a client success manager, so you do have someone to go to when you have those general questions and you're not quite sure where to get answers. We also have a dedicated Boost support team, and they are available to handle the more technical aspects of your questions. They're very well trained with API information coming from your property management software, as well as the details that we're passing on to the OTAs. So yes, we have a tremendous amount of documentation, extremely valuable, helpful documentation, as well as very useful short videos. But there's always the human element that's available to you as well. This list is the property management systems that we connect to. There are several, as you can see: LiveRes, Streamline, VRM, Escapia. We also connected Barefoot, Track, and RNS. Similar to the OTAs, we really do our due diligence when it comes to connecting to the software. We want to make sure that it's a very solid, stable feed that we're receiving, updates regularly. We don't want to push stale data out there. So we want to make sure that we're receiving information in a timely fashion. And just like OTAs, we do our due diligence and are doing that right now, with the possibility of adding a couple more property management software systems to our list. So keep an eye out. If yours isn't on here, it's possible it may be coming soon. What does using Boost look like? So the top part of this slide is the booking report. And basically, it lays out all the information that you need to know regarding reservations that are generated through Boost. We only have a short snippet here, but from this slide, you can see that we have the property management software confirmation. So if you're a Streamline customer, you can go into Streamline and look at that specific reservation based directly on the property management software confirmation that you have here. We also provide the channel confirmation, as well as the date that the reservation was made, the channel that the reservation was made on. And what you don't see here are the additional pertinent details, such as the rent and fees associated with that specific booking, and then some additional information such as taxes and what your commission is to the OTA. So there's a lot of great detail in our booking report, and we always stress that it's a very helpful tool, valuable tool that our clients should be looking at regularly. And then easy access to channels. This is just laying out the channels on the Boost dashboard. Just as you see here, you'll have blocks of the channels that you're connected to, and a simple, and it may be a little difficult to see depending on the size of your monitor, but in each block, let's take Google, for instance, the very bottom of the block says manage. You would click on there and it allows you to manage your channel or global settings for Google. And the same thing with Vrbo, HomeToGo, Airbnb, so on and so forth.
Just one note about the booking report is that it will coagulate all of the bookings that you get from every single channel. So if you're trying to rate like performance on one channel versus another, you could drill down into that and say, I just want to see Airbnb bookings. Like, how are my Airbnb bookings doing? Or how are my booking.com bookings doing? You can drill down in that report, then you can export it. So it's a very useful tool that you can then pair with your property management software to track some performance month over month. But other than that, yeah, it's, well, once you dig into it and actually work with us, we'll show you what every single button means.
Yeah.
So
this is why I bring Chelsea with me. She always comes up with the very important points that I may miss.
Yeah. Because there's a lot. So here is the listings page in Boost. So, I mean, again, like if your monitor is pretty small, it might be hard to see, but essentially, if you are not colorblind, you can see that there are green check marks and there are red X's. So it is our goal when we're going through implementation to obviously have more green check marks than red X's. And what the red X's mean is that it's not currently active on channel, or in the other PMS status column, that we're not receiving it from your property management software as an active property. So when we're going through implementation, we'll drill down into basically what all of those columns mean, but this is just an overview of how we've received every single unit from your property management software, digested it into Boost, and then what we're going to work off of to then get all of your listings active as they should be. This is a place that you can come, and depending on the OTA, you'll be able to see the blue number that's an actual live URL that you can click and go directly to your listing. So you can come into Boost, see, I want to see this listing, and you can find it from there versus going out on your OTA and trying to search for it, because it can be a little murky out here. Here's an easy way that you can see all that information in one status. And also, when you bring on a new property and make it active in your property management software, we'll be able to see it here in Boost. So, and then we can take that property and then distribute that one as well. That part is not an automatic process, but the distribution of all of your properties to us happens every time we update. So, which is a very regular basis. Every few minutes, we're pulling in new information.
So remember, you are the hero. You're the hero of the Boost story. As the decision maker for your business, you will be determining your Boost strategy. So Team Blue Tent will empower your decisions. And here are some of the ways that we'll do that. And I'll let Chelsea review this with you very quickly.
Yeah, so we'll help configure your Boost engine. All that means is that we'll help you with every single setup of Boost on the different OTAs. So we will help you with Google. We will help you with HomeToGo. We will help you with Airbnb. We'll help you with Booking.com. Every single one of them, we will assist you with in making the right decisions for your business. We'll train you on how to use the whole dashboard, what all the buttons mean. We'll do a significant amount of testing before any of your units go fully live. I will add a disclaimer. Some of the OTAs require that your unit is live before we can actually do a test booking, but we'll take you through that test booking process on every single one of them. And then, as we mentioned before, there will be ongoing client success resources. So documentation, actual humans who answer your questions. And we won't, within implementation, we're not just going to send you live without all of those resources at your fingertips so that you can feel equipped to manage it going forward.
And the other thing I can say about Chelsea and her team, they will not close out your project the moment that your listings are live. They do hold on to those projects a little bit longer just to make sure that everything is working and flowing the way that it should be and that you're comfortable with the platform. And then from there, our client success team and Boost support team are there to assist moving forward. So is Boost the right tool for your property management company? You know, engagement is very important. In order to be effective, you have to log in and actively participate. Engagement during the onboarding process is extremely important. So we do stress that. It's not a set it and forget it type of tool. It does make your lives much easier as far as managing your listings on the OTAs, but it does require that you're engaged and that you log in and actively participate. Getting enrolled, you do have to sign up with the OTAs. You can sign up with Boost. That's a portion of the process, but you do have to sign up with the individual OTAs in order for us to be able to get you connected to them. Learning the ins and outs, you'll need a working knowledge of your chosen OTA. You'll want to understand what their policies and practices are. Just like Chelsea mentioned earlier, yes, it's kind of like living at home with your parents. You do have some freedoms, but you do have to adhere to, their standards and requirements. So being familiar with their policies and practices is very, very important. And then be informed, avoid surprises, recognize that each OTA is unique, has its own unique features, their own unique policies and procedures. So be informed as much as you possibly can be. And then I'll let Chelsea grab this portion regarding the role of the property management software.
Yeah, as we all know, your property management software is essentially your guiding light for how you run your business. So the better data that you have in there, the better output you're going to get everywhere else. And that applies to your website as well as your online travel agencies. So it's super important that your pricing is always up to date in your PMS, that your photos shine. Like if you know that there's that unit that has horrible photos and your lead image is a toilet, like maybe consider reordering them and possibly getting a photographer in there, or at least take your iPhone. I mean, like we all have like pretty sophisticated phones these days. So better data in there is going to make better data on all of these online travel agencies, which does require some work. But we'll highlight those things during the implementation processes, that if there is something that could be improved. I know I've worked with clients who are like, I didn't even realize that was still in my description. It's like, yeah, it's in there. You might want to take that out from 2017. So we'll help you scrub that so that we can get the best possible results for each one of your listings out there.
Perfect. Thank you. A few words. We've said quite a few, and now we'll try to wrap it up a little bit. We do charge a commission for Boost on rent and fees, and that applies to all OTA reservations that are made via the Boost platform. And you may be charged a monthly fee connection for Boost, but that's information that we can walk through with you prior to making a final decision. So if you do have an interest in Boost, obviously we can talk through that and work through the logistics of the financial side of things. Boost contracts are typically 12 months in duration, and they do auto renew. So just want to be very transparent with that. There is an auto renew clause in the contract, but you also have a 30-day notice if you choose to cancel or not renew your annual subscription. It's not like you're stuck. Though we think that you're going to love it enough that you're going to want to allow it to auto renew. So we can work through the logistics of that type of information with you, should you choose to move forward with connecting to the OTAs via Boost. Next steps, Scott Campbell is the go-to person. So if what we've discussed today piques your interest, if you think that this is a viable product for your business, please do not hesitate to reach out to Scott. Let's get you connected. Let's get you generating some revenue. Here are the details to reach Scott, both email address and phone number. And I'm sure Ben will be more than happy to provide that information to anyone who is interested. But Scott can help lead you with any questions or details that you're looking for. Scott's the go-to person, and obviously he knows where to reach us. If there's something that he's not able to answer for you, we'll be more than happy to provide those answers.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Chelsea and Alexia. This was awesome.
Thank you so much for having us, Ben.
Hope everybody tuned in and is like, I need Boost right now. Scott is a great resource to it, Alexia said, and then myself, happy to connect you with whoever you need to hear from. But again, Alexia said at the beginning, we know that direct bookings is the way we want to go, but we don't want to ignore the fact that OTAs are continuing to grow in the marketplace, and we don't want you to fall behind. So
exactly.
A lot of this comes from care. We care about your business, and we want to make sure that we're nurturing it in the right ways so you can continue to grow.